Hey everyone, it's September 27th. Just want to dive into Sol here. I took a trade over the weekend and I wanted to go over the setup and how I managed it. So let's dive into it. So we have the daily time frame here. I got a pullback to this 153.47 and I had an alert. You could see it was this VP node. And if we move this vertical line to the side, you could see price ran through and ran into this anchor VWAP area. So this got it on watch. And before setting this alert, I noticed that as this price was breaking up, the data was coming down on the 20-day moving average. So as this price was rising, we were getting a flat to rising 20-day moving average. And as we're pulling back in, we're pulling back to a rising 20-day moving average. It also brought my attention that to the 50-day moving average, that these potentially are very close and we could get an initial trend alignment. So what I was looking for was the data. What I was looking at was the data 50 days ago was on Sunday, August 4th. So where was the data trading then? Was trading lower where we were trading on that Sunday on the 22nd. So that 50-day moving average was going to start to flatten out and rise as well. This black line is the year-to-date VWAP. So we started to break that, act as resistance, started to reclaim that year-to-date VWAP. The green is the year-to-date VWAP low. We can see here, year-to-date VWAP, black, year-to-date VWAP low. And we started to break above that on Sunday, or at the end of the week, and pulled back into it. So that was an intriguing. All this data was intriguing on the daily time frame. So what happened on Sunday was we got a pullback from this low off the push off the 20-day moving average that at this point in time was just starting to flatten out, and now it was rising. So we got a pullback. I missed the initial rally and I waited, and here's our pullback at this 143.54. So I actually started to buy in at this level, and then I got an alert at this anchor VWAP, and I added to this position. Okay. When I first added here, my initial stop, I was basically accepting the risk down into this area right here, this VP cluster, and this low. If it started to break this low, I was going to be out. Okay. I wanted to give this a little bit more wiggle room in case something like that happened. So once we got the balance here, okay, this brings us to this week, and this is the week-to-date VWAP. So we were able to break above and start to trade above the week-to-date VWAP here. And as we broke this resistance line and came into this 150-129, I started to take some profits. And as we broke into that 150-129, I then moved my initial stop, right, from this low down into this significant low. Okay. And I wanted to give this a little bit of wiggle room. We pulled back. I actually had an alert set to the week-to-date VWAP. And as we pulled back into the week-to-date VWAP, I actually added some on Wednesday as we finagled with the VWAP here, and added some with the stop under here on the original, on the ad. And we broke into 157, and I actually sold some today at this morning when we started to break down here. Yeah, we started to break down, used the 2-minute stop, opening drive here, and as I started to break down the 2-minute, I started to get out. So that was my trade on Sol. I want to give this stop some room. Right now it's still here. I'm gonna move some of the stop up under here. Give this some room under 153, and then potentially look for something to set up in this 150 area, so we could get something potentially looking like this to play out. Would be a little pullback maybe over the weekend, come back down to 150, and then look for some evidence and maybe look to participate in this area at this 153. Maybe fill in this, maybe tag this 151 area, get some strength, and look for a setup to trade this back into 160 and for some continuation. If you look on the daily time frame, the personality is every time it gets up into this 160 area, it shits the bed. So I don't know what will be different this time. I would actually prefer, now that we just ran up 34% the past month, 21 trading bars is your average trading month. So I would actually prefer for this to then pull back on the daily time frame. Basically pull back into this VWAP area, get that retest, and be able to, like I said, participate and get a next leg up into this 180. So hopefully this was helpful.